There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize the world will never stop testing them. People will disappoint you. Life will become unfair. Some days, everything you built will begin to fall apart at the same time. And in those moments, most people break emotionally. They panic. They react. They lose control of themselves. But the Stoics believe something different. They believe that no matter how chaotic the world becomes, a strong mind can remain untouched. Not cold, not emotionless, but powerful enough to stay calm in the middle of emotional storms. And that is what this video is about. These are the 10 Stoic principles that make you emotionally untouchable. If you truly understand these principles, people will no longer control your emotions. Fear will lose its grip on you. Stress will stop dominating your life, and you will develop a level of inner peace most people never reach. So sit back, focus carefully, and listen until the end, because one of these principles may completely change the way you see your life forever. Chapter 1. Control your mind before anything else. The Stoics believe that your mind is your kingdom. If you cannot control your thoughts, you cannot control your life. Most people think their suffering comes from other people. But Marcus Aurelius said something powerful. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Think about that. The insult is not what destroys you. The failure is not what destroys you. The rejection is not what destroys you. It is your reaction to those things. Two people can face the exact same problem. One collapses emotionally. The other becomes stronger. Why? Because emotional strength is not about what happens to you. It is about how you interpret what happens. The emotionally weak person reacts instantly. The emotionally untouchable person pauses. That pause changes everything. Before anger takes over, pause. Before fear controls you, pause. Before sadness consumes you, pause. In that small moment of silence, you regain power over yourself. And that is where true strength begins. Chapter 2. Stop needing everyone's approval. One of the biggest emotional traps in life is needing to be liked by everyone. Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid criticism. They hide their true thoughts. They fake confidence. They become prisoners of other people's opinions. But the Stoics understood something important. If your happiness depends on other people approving of you, you will never be free. Because people are unpredictable. One day they praise you. The next day they judge you. One day they support you. The next day, they abandon you. If your emotional state changes every time someone changes their opinion about you, your peace will constantly disappear. Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish. That means true confidence comes from within, not from applause, not from validation, not from attention. The emotionally untouchable person does not waste energy trying to impress everyone. They focus on becoming stronger internally. And the moment you stop chasing approval, you become dangerous in the best possible way, because now nobody can emotionally manipulate you anymore. Chapter 3. Expect hardship. Most suffering comes from unrealistic expectations. People expect life to always go smoothly. They expect loyalty from everyone. They expect success without struggle. And when reality hits them, they fall apart emotionally. The Stoics prepared for difficulty before it arrived. They understood that pain is part of life. Loss is part of life. Disappointment is part of life. Failure is part of life. But when you expect challenges, you stop being shocked by them. Imagine a sailor going into the ocean expecting perfect weather every day. The first storm destroys him. But the experienced sailor prepares for storms before leaving the shore. That is Stoic thinking. Emotionally strong people do not say, why is this happening to me? They say, this is part of life. Now, let me handle it with strength. And that mindset alone can save you from enormous emotional suffering. Chapter 4. Do not give temporary emotions permanent power. One bad moment can destroy years of progress. If you react emotionally, think about how many people ruin relationships because of anger. How many destroy opportunities because of fear? How many make terrible decisions during moments of sadness? The Stoics warn against becoming slaves to temporary emotions, because emotions are like storms. They rise, They become intense. Then eventually, they pass. But most people make permanent decisions during temporary emotional storms. That is dangerous. When you feel overwhelmed, wait. When you feel furious, breathe. When you feel emotionally broken, give yourself time before reacting. Because the calm version of you is usually wiser than the emotional version of you. The emotionally untouchable person understands this deeply. They do not let one emotional moment control their destiny. Chapter 5. Learn to be alone. One of the greatest signs of emotional weakness is the inability to be alone. Many people constantly surround themselves with noise because silence forces them to face themselves. They need distractions. They need attention. They need constant validation. But the Stoics spend time alone intentionally because solitude builds self-awareness. When you are alone, you discover who you truly are without the world influencing you. You begin to understand your fears, your insecurities, your habits, your thoughts, and slowly, you stop depending on external distractions to feel okay. The emotionally untouchable person can sit alone in silence and still feel complete because their peace comes from within, not from crowds, not from social media, not from constant entertainment. Learn to enjoy your own company. That is where mental power grows. Chapter 6. Accept what you cannot control. This principle changed countless lives for over 2,000 years. The Stoics divided life into two categories: what you can control and what you cannot. You can control your actions, your mindset, your discipline, your effort, but you cannot control other people. You cannot control the past. You cannot control everything life throws at you. Most people suffer because they fight reality. They waste years trying to control things beyond their power. But emotional freedom begins the moment you stop fighting what you cannot change. You cannot force someone to love you. You cannot erase the past. You cannot prevent every problem. But you can control how you respond. And sometimes acceptance is not weakness. Sometimes acceptance is strength, because it takes enormous inner power to say, I cannot control this, but I will not let it destroy my peace. Chapter 7. Discipline creates emotional strength. People often think discipline is only about work, but discipline is emotional power. A disciplined mind does not react impulsively. It does not collapse under pressure. It remains steady. Every time you control your anger, you become stronger. Every time you stay calm under stress, you become stronger. Every time you choose logic over emotional chaos, you become stronger. Small acts of discipline slowly build an unshakable mind. Wake up when you say you will. Keep promises to yourself. Control your impulses. Train your thoughts daily. Because emotional strength is not built overnight. It is built through repeated self-control. The person who cannot control small habits will struggle to control powerful emotions. But the person who masters themselves internally becomes emotionally untouchable externally. Chapter 8. Stop taking everything personally. This one principle can remove enormous emotional pain from your life. Most people believe everything is about them. Someone acts rude, they feel attacked. Someone ignores them, they feel rejected. Someone criticizes them, they feel worthless. But the Stoics understood something powerful. People's actions often reveal more about them than about you. An angry person spreads anger. An insecure person spreads negativity. A miserable person tries to make others miserable too. Not everything deserves an emotional reaction. Sometimes people insult you because they are suffering internally. Sometimes people disrespect you because they lack emotional control themselves. And sometimes silence is far more powerful than retaliation. The emotionally untouchable person does not absorb every negative emotion thrown at them. They observe it, understand it, then let it pass. And because of that, they protect their peace. Chapter 9. Remember that life is temporary. One of the greatest Stoic teachings is this: everything ends, every problem, every success, every fear, every painful moment, even your life itself. At first, this sounds dark, but the Stoics use this truth to become emotionally free. Because when you remember how temporary life is, you stop wasting energy on meaningless drama. You stop holding on to petty anger. You stop obsessing over small problems. You stop allowing fear to control your life. You begin appreciating the present moment more deeply. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that life is short, not to become depressed, but to become focused. Focused on what truly matters. Peace, wisdom, character, purpose. The emotionally untouchable person understands that time is precious, so they stop wasting it on emotional chaos. Chapter 10. Build inner peace daily. Inner peace is not something you suddenly discover one day. It is something you build daily. Through your thoughts, your habits, your discipline, your perspective. Most people chase peace excellently. They think, I'll be peaceful when life becomes easier. But life never stays easy forever. The Stoics believe peace must come from within first. That means learning to remain calm even when life becomes difficult. Learning to breathe through pressure. Learning to stay grounded during uncertainty. Learning to trust yourself during chaos. True emotional strength is quiet. It does not need to prove itself loudly. It simply remains steady while everything around it changes. And that kind of peace is rare. But it can be built day by day, thought by thought, choice by choice. Now listen carefully. Being emotionally untouchable does not mean you never feel pain. Stoicism is not about becoming a robot. You will still feel sadness. You will still feel anger. You will still feel fear. But those emotions will no longer control your life. That is the difference. The weak mind reacts automatically. The strong mind responds wisely. And every single day, life gives you opportunities to practice this. Every insult, every setback, every stressful moment, they are all training grounds for your mind. And over time, something incredible happens. You become calmer, stronger, more focused, harder to manipulate, harder to break. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger within. So the next time life tests you, pause before reacting. Take a breath. Remember that your peace is more valuable than temporary emotional chaos. And remind yourself, no person should have the power to control your inner state. That power belongs to you, always. If this message spoke to you, remember to subscribe to the channel and join this journey toward wisdom, discipline, and inner strength. Because in a world full of noise and emotional chaos, calm minds become powerful minds. Thank you for watching.